So today I wanted to talk about second guessing yourself on quoting handyman jobs. It's very tempting to second guess yourself and be kind of almost your worst enemy. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but like writing up an estimate, you're like, ooh, that seems a little bit too high for this client. It seems like this client is not going to go for that price. So maybe I should lower it 25 bucks or 50 bucks or 100 bucks, whatever it is. There's that dialogue that happens in your head of like, maybe I should lower this price to get this client. Now, I want to talk about a few stories where I've done that, and I want to tell you right now up front that whenever you second guess yourself, whenever I have second guessed myself, I'll make this personal, whenever I have second guessed myself and actually lowered my price to try and please a customer, the job has always went south and has never turned out in my favor. Now, there's been a few instances where this has happened, but one of the most pertinent kind of examples that sticks in my head is I was part of this business networking group, and someone sent me a client, and because I wanted to kind of create a good atmosphere, I wanted the other person in the business networking group to like me or like my services or something like, there was probably some ego involved in that. I bent over backwards for the client that they sent me. It was a client that lived way across town in a place that we don't normally service. They were selling a house, and it was in a really rundown part of town. It was a rundown house, which, yeah, there would have been a lot of red flags that popped up if this was a traditional client that called into our business. The first one being their area. I mean, you're out of our area, we don't really service you. And the other thing was, she wanted only specific things fixed in her house so that she could get it ready to sell. But the house was really just, it was messed up. So our estimator went out to estimate the project. And typically what we do is we work for people that are focused on good quality stuff. And that's ultimately what we're going for. So typically when we partner with someone, we are fixing the entirety of what needs to be fixed. We're not going in and just like patching stuff up and kind of putting lipstick on a pig so that you can make it look good enough. That's not really our expertise. We go in and we make things look great. We do things right. We get things fixed. We get them working correctly. That's at the end of the day what we do. So our estimator went out and looked at this house, and there was a lot of stuff wrong with this house. So he started going around and just like he typically would, like, okay, you're missing an outlet cover there. You know, this eave has a lot of dry rot on it. You know, this door is all chewed up by a dog. Like all of these things that he just picked up, and he's like writing everything down. Well, at the end of the day, after the estimate, you know, I got a call from the lady in my networking group, and because he actually met with the lady in the networking group because she's actually a realtor, and so she was like meeting us on behalf of her client, and the realtor ended up calling me. And she's like, yeah, you know, your estimator, he wanted to fix all these things, and I only wanted him to fix these few things. And so I explained to her like our integrity and our process, and it was, at the end of the day, we didn't get the job. We didn't sell anything at that house, ultimately because there was a huge lack of communication. It wasn't our ideal client at the end of the day. There's also a lot of other stories that I could tell you where we've done things like that, where we've tried to bend over backwards for people and do things that we just knew like in our gut weren't us, right? Like at the end of the day, I think my advice to the guys that are maybe just starting out or guys that have even been in this for 7 years or 10 years or 20 years is listen to your gut. You guys are handy and I know that, but the hardest part about this business is actually the business side of business. That is why I have created a coaching program that is exactly for that specific reason. The Handyman Academy is our premier coaching program that will help you learn everything that you need from startup all the way to creating systems and processes so that you can hire employees so the business can essentially run without you. The Handyman Academy now has open registration, and I would absolutely love to talk with you about how I can help you with your handyman business. Go ahead and set up a free consultation call with me at handymanjourney.com/coaching. All right, let's get back to today's video. Your gut will tell you if this is a job that you should take or not. Your gut should tell you what you should charge for this job. And don't listen to anything else but that. You know, at the end of the day, pricing is the biggest thing. Pricing is the biggest thing, and you can't negotiate with yourself because you need to know what your pricing is. And once you know what your pricing is, like what you need to charge bare minimum, you won't lower your prices, because if you lower your prices, you're literally taking food out of your kid's mouth, or food out of your dog's mouth, or food out of your wife's mouth, or food out of your mouth, however you want to phrase it. But if you charge less than what you need to charge just to get a client, you're doing that at the sacrifice of actually feeding yourself or feeding your family, and that's not really fair to them. And ultimately, if you continue to do that, your business is not going to be around much longer to actually help anyone out at the end of the day anyways. You're going to go out of business. So I would say one of the biggest things is know your pricing. The second thing is know who your ideal client is and stick to that person. Don't try and bend over backwards for someone that's not your ideal client, but it's just a special occasion or they just need it this one time. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard the phrase, oh, if you cut me a deal just this one time, I got so many properties and I'm going to keep you so busy. I've heard that so many times because if you give someone a deal on this property, they're going to want that same exact deal on the next property. And unless they have 100 properties, it's not worth it. And most of the time people like that have kind of rundown stuff and they just want patches or fixes or lipsticks on a pig. And again, this has all been my experience. This is someone speaking to you that's been in business for 7 years. I believe we have a fairly successful business, but this information may not work for you. You may have had different experiences, and I would absolutely love to hear it. So drop a comment in the comment section below if you've ever had an experience that's different from what I'm explaining here. This has by and large been my experience, and I would let you know, don't negotiate with yourself and don't bend over backwards for people that don't respect you. The biggest thing in our business is we charge what we charge, and if people don't like that, that's fine. There's other handyman out there. But if they want us to kind of bend over backwards for them, then they are not respecting our time and what we need to make for our time. And if they don't respect us, then I don't necessarily think I need to bend over backwards for them. If they respect me and I can bend over backwards for them to, make something go through and it's mutually beneficial, I'm more than happy to do that. But if someone doesn't respect me and my family and my business, then I don't necessarily think that there's any reason why we need to work for them, because they can go work with someone else that doesn't necessarily need their respect or maybe doesn't respect themselves. At the end of the day, again, these are my opinions. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. We are on day 75 of our 100-day video challenge. We made it 3/4 of the way through this 100-day video challenge. If you are brand new, we are on a challenge for 100 business days to make a business video related to the handyman industry. And today we are on day 75. So if you're brand new to this, go back to day 1. There's so much good stuff that we covered over these last 75 days. And I would absolutely love for you to partner with us in this. Go back, like the video, subscribe to this channel, and comment on every video. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm always trying to improve my content and make better quality content for you guys, things that you want to hear. And I think that we did a great job these last 75 days. A lot of guys have seen some great growth in their business. We've seen some great growth in our business, and I would absolutely love to hear how this content affects you and your business as well. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for day 76.